Have you ever wondered which dog breeds are actually the easiest to train? Not the ones the internet keeps telling you about. The real answer for a normal person with a normal house and a normal amount of time. Because here's what nobody says out loud. Whether teaching your dog is the best part of your week or a fight you have every day for the next decade is mostly decided before you ever get him in the car. Some dogs are built to look at you and work out what you want. Some are built to make their own decisions and get on with it. No amount of effort changes which one you picked. Hi everyone, I'm Leo Bennett, your neighborhood dog guy. Now, before we start, I have to address the elephant in the room. If I just wanted to name the two most trainable breeds on earth and go home, that's easy. The Border Collie and the Belgian Malinois. Extraordinary dogs, and I wouldn't be wrong. But not many people can own them, so that's not this list. This is for everyday owners who want a dog that's fun and easy to train without a background in sport dog handling, military work, or professional training. 8 breeds counting down. And one thing up front that surprises people. Nearly every dog here is sensitive. That's not a weakness. It's a big part of what makes a dog easy to teach, because they learn fast and bounce back quickly. It also means every one of them does badly with an owner who yells. So today, 8 breeds, why each is easy, the caveats that catch people out, and the correct way to handle them. And number 1 is the dog you've walked past 3 times this week without a second glance. The one everybody writes off as the boring choice, and the most trainable dog an ordinary person can bring home. Quick note before we carry on. This is one chapter of a much bigger conversation about what your dog is trying to tell you, and I've gathered all of it into a book called The Happy Dog Manual over at leodogsecrets.com. Go take a look if you want more happy years with your dog. That's all. Starting at number 8, and I know what some of you are thinking, the Cavalier King Charles Spaniel. Small, cutesy, toy breed, and people assume that means it isn't a serious training prospect. It absolutely is. Cavaliers are one of the most people-oriented dogs I've worked with. They were bred to be companions, and that instinct runs deep. Their whole life is oriented around you. That's a massive head start compared to something like a husky, because you aren't fighting the dog's genetics to get its attention. They respond incredibly well to food, praise, and affection, and they're sensitive enough that a leash and a flat collar is all you need. For a first-time owner, that's huge. The correct way, and there are caveats, that sensitivity cuts both ways. Cavaliers don't respond to yelling, harsh leash corrections, or you getting frustrated. Raise your voice and a lot of them shut down completely. Keep sessions upbeat. Second, and this catches people off guard, house training takes longer. Not because they can't learn it, but because their bladders are tiny and their "I need to go out" signal is hard to read at first. Stay on the schedule. Third, recall around distractions. There's spaniel in the background, which means there's a nose on them, and once they pick up a scent trail, that focus competes with you. Build recall early and gradually. Number 7, very similar to the Cavalier, and another breed you don't see turning up much with behavioral problems. The English Springer Spaniel. A working gun dog at its core, developed to work closely alongside hunters in the field. That history matters, because the desire to work with a human handler is built in rather than bolted on. Springers are enthusiastic learners with solid food drive, and they've got the energy for long, productive sessions. No short fuse, and they won't get frustrated and quit on you the way some breeds will. They pick up obedience fast, and they want to follow direction. The correct way. Respect the energy, because there's a lot of it. An underexercised Springer turns that energy against you the same way any breed would. There's emotional sensitivity here too. Not as delicate as the Cavalier, which helps, but they still don't respond well to harsh corrections or shouting. Give this dog exercise, rewards, and something to do, and he's excellent for just about anybody. Number 6, and this is the one people forget exists, the Shetland Sheepdog. The Sheltie sits 6th in the world on the working intelligence rankings, which puts him above almost everything else here, and he's a herding dog in a body that fits in an ordinary house, which is the combination a lot of people are looking for without knowing it. What makes him trainable is that he's intensely handler-focused. A Sheltie watches you. He's constantly checking in, constantly reading what you're doing, so you rarely have to work for his attention because he's already given it. Add strong food drive, quick pickup on new behaviors, and real enthusiasm for having a job, and you've got a dog who enjoys training sessions rather than tolerating them. The correct way, and the caveats are real. Shelties bark. That's herding genetics doing what herding genetics do, and it needs managing early rather than hoping it settles. They're also one of the most sensitive dogs on this list. Harsh handling or a frustrated owner will shut a Sheltie down faster than a Cavalier. That sensitivity goes beyond training, too. They can be wary of strangers and unsettled by noise, so early socialization matters more here than people expect. Give him gentle handling, something to think about, and a household that isn't constantly loud, and he's one of the most rewarding small dogs you'll ever teach. Number 5 is the Pit Bull. And before anyone freaks out, this list is about trainability, not which dog every family should have. That's a separate video. On trainability, Pit Bulls and Terriers deserve enormous credit. What stands out is how much this breed wants to work. Loyal, affectionate, and when they bond with you, they'll work their hearts out. That desire to please is a powerful training tool, and historically it's worked against them too, because they'll do anything for a handler, including things they shouldn't. What makes them trainable is very high food drive, so reward-based training is extremely effective, and they're athletic enough for demanding sessions and several a day. They're tough, they recover quickly, and when they click with a handler, the progress is fast. The correct way, and the caveats are serious. The Terrier side is real. Pit Bulls can be stubborn, not in a mean way, more, I've got a different idea and I prefer mine. Be clear, consistent, and patient, because flip-flopping on the rules for a few weeks sets you back a long way with this dog. And the big one, many Pit Bulls have a high prey drive, which makes recall around distractions difficult and can be genuinely dangerous around small animals, cats, squirrels, anything that runs. Real-world example. A man I worked with had a well-trained Pit Bull with reliable recall in the park, and then a cat arrived in the house. He assumed the training would carry over because the dog listened about everything else. It didn't. Recall around an ordinary distraction and recall around real prey drive are two different skills. Nobody got hurt because he had management in place while we worked on it. Train it deliberately and proof it thoroughly. Don't assume it'll work itself out, because with those genetics, it won't. Number 4, and a lot of people would put him higher, the Golden Retriever. Is there a more universally beloved training partner? One of the most popular family dogs in the world for a reason, and that reason is how easy he makes your life. He ranks near the top of the working intelligence lists, and here's what matters about that. Unlike some highly intelligent breeds that use their intelligence to challenge you, the Golden uses his to figure out what you want. Fundamentally different energy, and it makes a massive difference day to day. What makes them trainable? Social, people-focused dogs with excellent food and toy drive who stay engaged through long sessions without burning out. They love to please, they forgive your mistakes, and they've got a stable temperament that keeps them accessible while learning. The retrieving instinct helps too. Teaching a Golden to fetch, hold, and carry is practically effortless because he was bred for it. The correct way. Be ready for slow maturity. Goofy and easily overexcited, especially around kids, with an adolescent phase running roughly 8 to 18 months. It'll test your patience. Stay consistent because there's an amazing dog on the other side. He won't stay engaged for long sessions during that stretch, so keep them short. And because he's so eager to greet everyone, leash manners and impulse control need deliberate work. Number 3, and this needs very little explanation, the German Shepherd. Found at the top of nearly every demanding canine job on the planet. Police work, search and rescue, service work, detection. Built for working partnerships with humans. Intelligent, athletic, keen to work, and when he trusts his handler, the work ethic is extraordinary. What makes him trainable is how motivated he is. Food, toys, the ball, praise, or all of it. He reads his handler well, he retains what he learns, and he loves having a purpose. Give a shepherd a job and clear direction, and you'll be amazed at what he can do. That drive also takes him well beyond basic obedience. Competitive sport, protection work, off-leash reliability. The ceiling on this breed is very high. The correct way. A German Shepherd does not tolerate being ignored. An understimulated shepherd develops problems. Anxiety, whining, pacing, circling, a house chewed apart. And once those patterns set in, they take serious work to undo. He can also be aloof with strangers and prone to reactivity without early socialization. and he'll probe your rules for inconsistencies and exploit them. If you've got one, you know what I'm talking about. Be confident, be consistent, give him the structure he's asking for, and he'll be one of the most satisfying dogs you ever train. Number 2, and a lot of you will roll your eyes, the Standard Poodle. Second most intelligent breed in the world, behind only the Border Collie, and I'm consistently blown away by how underestimated it is. Here's what people forget. Those iconic grooming cuts were designed to protect the joints and organs in cold water while reducing drag. This is a serious working retriever in a very fashionable disguise. What makes them trainable is that intelligence plus very strong food and toy drive and natural attentiveness to their handler. Standard Poodles learn at a remarkable pace. They pick up behaviors in very few repetitions compared to almost anything else here. They also generalize well, which is rarer than people realize. And they've got a stable, non-aggressive temperament, good with kids and families, which keeps emotional interference out of the learning process. The correct way. That intelligence is a double-edged sword, like with any very smart dog. A poodle who isn't challenged gets bored, and bored poodles get creative in ways you won't appreciate, chewing furniture, barking, inventing their own entertainment. If you want a dog that'll challenge you as a trainer in the best possible way, this breed belongs near the top. Which brings me to number 1, the Labrador Retriever. He ranks 7th in the world for working and obedience intelligence. But raw intelligence isn't the only thing being measured, and it's why he sits above the poodle and the shepherd here. It's the balance. The Lab's secret weapon is high intelligence, exceptional food drive, emotional stability, and an almost effortless willingness to work with people. That's the most complete training package for an everyday owner, and it has been for decades. It's no coincidence Labs dominate guide dog, service dog, therapy, and detection programs. Those organizations pick for the highest stakes jobs there are. Almost every lab has excellent food drive, so reward-based training works from day one, and he isn't picky about what he works for. He's naturally stable and confident, bounces back fast from mistakes, yours and his own, and he's forgiving and adaptable in a wide variety of environments. And unlike some of the other highly intelligent breeds here, a lab doesn't weaponize his intelligence against you. He isn't hunting for the loophole the way a Malinois or a Border Collie would. He uses it to work out what works for you, what gets him the reward, and what works for both of you as a team. Real-world example. I worked with a family who'd never trained a dog in their lives and were, by their own account, doing everything slightly wrong. Inconsistent timing, treats too late, 3 people using 3 different words for the same thing. Their lab learned anyway, not because they were good at it, but because he kept trying to work out what they meant and forgave every mistake along the way. That's the argument for this breed in one sentence. He gives you room to be a beginner, the correct way. The lab is a sporting breed with real energy requirements, and a bored one can be destructive. Know the difference between a field lab and a pet lab because they aren't the same dog. Same as with Goldens. Adolescence runs to about 18 months, and he'll be jumpy and mouthy through it. He wants to greet every person he sees, so put the work into greetings and impulse control early. And research the breeder, because genetics predicate a lot of this. So take this one thing from all 8. Every breed here is easy to train for the same reason. They were built to work in partnership with a person rather than independently of one. That's the whole secret. It isn't raw intelligence, because the cleverest dogs on earth are the hardest to live with. It's whether the breed is looking at you. And if you're watching this before you choose a dog rather than finding out the hard way at 18 months, you're already ahead of most people who buy a puppy. So tell me in the comments which of these you've got and whether you agree with where I put it. And tell me which breed I've left off, because I know there are a few. I read every one, and they decide what I make next. Now go and teach him something small before dinner.